If he'd have followed the rules, they'd all still be alive right now.
Jim, why are you so eager to take any of this at face value, Jim?
There has got to be an explanation. And none of you fucking people seem to be looking for it.
What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another From Season 3 video. In a town where we know being a relative of Kenny, well, that's not a great thing to be. Rest in peace to Kenny's mom, Mrs. Lou. We see that in this season, they are up to one thing. That is the monsters, and that is to break people. Not just to break all the people, but specifically to break Boyd. That is what we hear them say. That's what they're trying to do. And it seems that their plan to do so was to take Kenny's mom out in front of Boyd, make him have to watch her suffer, and ultimately what I believe is going to happen is drive a wedge in between Boyd and Kenny. Because how can Kenny come back from his safari and look Boyd in the face and say, how the hell did you make it but my mom died? Which could drive a huge void in between Boyd and Kenny, and also make the people in the town say, we can't trust this guy. He is the one who sent us out there to save all these animals, and for what? To lose someone like Mrs. Lou, lose somebody that we actually care about, that took care of the whole town. That could bring Boyd's leadership into question. And if we can break Boyd that way, I think that's what the creatures are thinking, then we can take the town down. But in the end, is this strategy going to work? Is this strategy sound? You see, I believe that there comes a time where people push too far, where they get pushed to their limits, when their backs get pushed against the wall. And this could be what happened by the monsters. The monsters may have overstepped their bounds by killing Mrs. Lou. We've heard Kenny already say in the show specifically that they didn't want to be playing defense all the time. That a time comes where they have to go on offense. And this could be the galvanizing point of the town, that they're willing to take out Mrs. Lou, someone who is just not doing anything to anybody, who's just trying to get along, and take her out in such a disgusting way that the town themselves may say it's time to go on a monster hunt. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what I think they're going to do to these monsters and how they can get one of these monsters down. But before I do, if you can, please hit the thumbs up button for your boy. 500 is the like goal. Let's try to reach that and go beyond that to trigger the YouTube algorithm. So number one thing I think they got to do is try to capture one of these monsters. I know that it's a scary situation to do so. We've seen this in Game of Thrones when Jon Snow and them told everybody in the realm about the Whites and the White Walkers. Nobody believed them. They all thought it was just game. So they went beyond the wall and they captured a White and brought it back to King's Landing. And it was at this time, when they seen the threat themselves and they seen what was coming for them, that everybody rallied around them and then decided, we got to go and take these things out and do whatever we have to do to take them out. For that reason, I think they need to capture one of these monsters. And I seen them do an autopsy, but what did the autopsy get them? It didn't get them anything but some bile. So since they didn't get the answers that they had, I think capturing one of these monsters is of the utmost importance. Now, we don't know exactly how they can, but we know that we can use the talismans to do so. We know that the talismans don't allow them to enter a place. Maybe the talismans won't allow them to exit a place. And if that's the case, they need to set a trap, like use the box, have them go in one side, and then come out of the other before they can, the monster themselves can can get out, and this would bind that monster into that place. Also, we see this season, these monsters are awfully chatty. They like to talk a lot this season, more than I've seen them do in other seasons. So maybe capturing one would allow you to talk to it and find out what's going on with this monster. What are they thinking and how they think. This is the only way to defeat your enemy, is to actually know your enemy. So the number one thing I think they need to do is capture one of these monsters. And by capturing this monster, you can run tests like, hey, can you chop its head off? Can you chop its limbs off? These things are slow, they're walking, so it should be easy to bag one up. We've seen that they don't have super strength when they're in their regular form. When they're inside there with Boyd and they grab Boyd up inside of the barn, Boyd is able to push one of these monsters off him like nothing, and then the monster transforms, and when he does, that's when he claws Boyd in the arm. So when they're in their regular form of humans, they do not have the same strength that they do when they are transformed. We have to find out how long can they stay in this human form. Do they have to stay in this human form? Can they just stay in their monster form forever, or do they have to transfer back? These are questions that can be answered if they capture one of these monsters. So number one, to me, they must capture one of these monsters. Number two thing I believe that they have to do is start killing these monsters. We know they can die. We've seen one die. We know that they are affected by these worm-like parasites, and that takes them out. Even when the monsters watch Smiley die, to them it seems like they didn't know what was going on, but they immediately retreated and left after one of them died. So, if we know those worm parasites can hurt them, what else can hurt them? One resource that we know they have an abundance of is alcohol. Now, instead of drinking this alcohol, maybe it's time to light these motherfuckers on fire. We also see that Jade had a long piece of string that he used to go inside the monster's cave so he can find his way out. So why not take a couple of barrels of this stuff, go down inside the cave, leave the barrels inside the cave, use the string to come all the way out of the cave, but have this string soaked in alcohol, and then light that string on fire and blow up and set on fire everything that is down inside of the cave. Can these creatures be burnt? We know the sunlight didn't affect them when he was dead, the Smile Monster, but we don't know if the sunlight affects them when they are alive, and that's why they sleep. The fact that you know they sleep in the daytime, all you have to do is get some barrels of this alcohol, go down there and throw it in there and light them on fire. You can also make Molotov cocktails when they come out at night and toss it at them and hit them. They don't seem to be fleet of foot. They may just stand there and take it because they don't know what's going on or what it is. Either way, I would like to see how these monsters react to fire. Can they be burnt? Does the fire hurt them or not? Another way I would also take them out is, we see that when they found this new settlement, that there's a huge river that's right there. I don't know exactly how far this settlement is from the monsters or how far it is from the town. But if it's not that far and close enough, then what I would do is I would divert a whole road of this water and go put that road to go right inside of the monster's cave. I would divert that river inside there and drown these monsters out. Can these monsters swim? Can they be drowned? Let's find out by diverting the river into the monster's hole. We know they're down. there, all you gotta do is make a hole at the top of it and let that water come right down. Flood them out while they're asleep. If you do this, that might kill them. But in the end, I believe you have to capture a monster, try to set them on fire, or try to drown them. You have to go on the offense. You have to start taking these monsters out. But you tell me what you think in the comment section. Is all these things I'm saying crazy, or would you have a different plan? Also, if you're looking for that merchandise, those t-shirts, I told you I would have them. I have the link at the bottom inside there. Go there, buy yourself one of these shirts. You'll enjoy it, you'll love it, and become a part of the familia. Yes, that is the new term I have tagged, familia. No more family, we're just familia. All right, get down with that. If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.
Okay. All right. Well, see, that's the difference between you and me. I don't do impossible.
Right.
I don't just sit around accepting the world as it is. Someone is doing this, and I'm not going to rest until I figure out how.